Hello guys, we need to be very quiet. We're hunting vagrants. This is exactly the kind of place that they like to hang out in. We got dead wood here that's been picked up. There's piles of dead wood. We got concrete. We just got some pipes and other just structures and dying trees, big old trees that are rotten from the inside, 100 years old. I think they call them cottonwoods, but I also heard they're something like a Parker. So I'll keep you posted if we find any vagrants. I think Cinnamon's hot on the trail of a vagrant. Hey miners, gonna make this one short and sweet. We are looking at the Kubey Vagrant. Now the Kubey Vagrant has Oz 10 blade steel, and it's got rather a robust grind, meaning it's a flat grind, and it gets down, it's a thicker edge, thicker behind the edge. It's designed by Tkachuk. I believe he's a Ukrainian. And this is either version 1 or version 2. They made one that's more of an upswept tip. This one's a little bit more of a, kind of like a sheep's foot. So we'll take it inside and compare it to some other knives here. Does have some aggressive jimping up on top. Trying to get my lighting. And I thought this might be a titanium clip. They did some, but it's a steel pocket clip. However, it's bead blasted very nicely and matches the blade. Lockup is good, and if I think of it, I will grab the KU291, the Kubey 122, and this has the same handle, believe it or not. I can't tell a difference, so when we go inside for some comparisons. I called that one a chunky monkey. This one's a little bit chunky, probably the same, but I like it. So it's a nice EDC. You know, it's not a super slicey blade, but you can use it for hard use. Did clean this one up, and I did even sharpen it. Did come sharp, but I wanted to put on my own edge there. And of course, when you do take it apart, you do some oiling. So we'll get this inside and we'll compare it to a couple of my other regular carries. Thanks guys. And we're inside, and old Rusty's trying to figure out if he likes the Vagrant or not. So I want you guys to know this is the second shooting of this knife, so I've carried it for a while, because in the first one I was sure this was a titanium pocket clip, and I'd stuck a magnet on it, and the first time I did it, thought it passed, and the next time it seems like it's sticking, so I think it's a stainless steel clip. They do advertise it as a stainless steel clip. Let's take a look at this blade here, and hopefully you'll see it's robust behind the edge. So it has a flat grind, what we would call a saber grind, and just doesn't have the room, you know, to come up there, which is okay, because it's going to make it robust, you know, a good work knife. Ergos are really good. I told you it had the same ergos as the Kubey 122, so we'll get that out. Now, the reason I don't want to like this knife is it's hard to deploy. The thumb hole is really close, and I will miss several times when I'm trying. I'm slipping off of here. There's really no lip, which would be nice. But interestingly enough, when I'm not trying, if I just pull it out of the pocket, I get it. So that's kind of what makes me think. And same thing here. We talked about it's really close to, and you got to do, you know, in one of these, you gotta get that finger just tucked in there. And again, if you're not thinking about it, you seem to nail it. So let's do a sharpening test where we can. This is my edge. Did come sharp, but that Oz 10 is a kitchen steel knife. A kitchen knife steel. And it takes just really a nice edge. You can get it, I took it down to a 20-degree angle, and I did that because of the robustness, how quote-unquote thick it is right there. So yeah, nice and slicey. And so what Oz 10 to me is it's a modified 440. I like 440C, and this is 440 plus some other elements, maybe some vanadium, some cobalt, and it's right in there. The same conversation with N690 and VG10, although I don't think it's quite at those levels. So we have this nice line swedge coming down here, and then we have a nice sort of a sheepswood. A little bit of a upsweep here, and let's start comparing some other knives. Kubey 122. Now, right here, when you go to use your thumb, there's a lip back here, which does help. Additionally, this knife, the thumb hole is, one, it's lower down, and two, it's a little bit, so take a look where the thumb hole is in relation to this little swing and where it is there, and then the same thing with your finger flick. It's both lower this way and higher this way. But let's get these here like so, and you guys will see for yourself. Angles here, goes here, angles back, down, flat, back. You got roughly, these two body screws, same curve. We angled down here, and then it's got a flat spot here, and the same finger cutout, same size. This one, the Vagrant, is a tad, in my opinion, wider, and I think that's just the blade stock here. Slightly different. And what do we got here? This has got the fine jimping and much more of a point. And this one has aggressive jimping and not as much of a stab point and a much thinner grind. Now it's in D2 steel, so we're going to check that out. Do have a video out on this. Factory edge. Yeah, hit one of those. That's one of them peanuts that are defective. So, stale. I think it's a little bit beyond the Best Buy date. Speaking of, I had a neighbor over for a barbecue, and they wanted some sauce. I don't usually use sauce, and we had beef. Anyway, so they make themselves a home, and they help themselves to some Heinz 57. And that sauce, they kind of just, next thing I kind of hear them say is 2009, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, yeah, my Heinz 57 was best if used by 2009. And I was like, yeah, you're on to me. I've been trying to poison you. So I ended up throwing that one away. But yeah, it was, maybe about 20% of the bottle was left, 10 or 20%. So apparently I don't use it that often. So anyways, getting this out because there's a lot of similarities. One, you know, the deployment and the finger and the thumb hole. So we got that Spyderco stuff that I like. Now this is FRN handle, easy in and out of the pocket, and the compression lock, running on washers, running on bearings. Takes a little work, and you get some action, get the action doing a nice job there, but it's pretty decent in and out of the pocket as well. These pocket clips, by the way, you can get 2 for $5 at Kubey. Let's see, Knife Global, I think. And that's on my Towser K now. And loving that. And I'm bringing this out because they kind of do very similar on the nose. The way they come down. And even a little bit where how they sweep up. And you guys know I like my Towser K, so I see some of that language in here. I see the Spyderco, and I see the Towser K mix in there. And another knife I'm digging, and the Tucson TS129. Again, we got this little belly. It does a little hook. Now I remember I paid $35 for this, and they want $56, and you can get these for about $130 and $390, and it's just twice a knife, 3 times a knife. It really is that Kubey. But when you go, you know, that finger, that's right where it's supposed to be, and when it's got this little contouring so when your thumb is in there, yeah, even if you're thinking about it, you're not gonna miss. Love that. You can do the whole, oh, sure you can. But love this thing. So got to show off a little bit. I found this sucker had a 16-degree angle from the factory, so I set mine up and gave it a little bit more finish on there. I had to use my flip stick from Buck. I think it's a Edge Tech or something like that, because it has a little recurve in it. You can't use a flat stone. So we need to wrap things up. I'm kind of running on here. So thanks for hanging with the miner. Got one more video on the calendar after this one, and I have to get to work to do get some other videos knocked out for you guys. So hang in there with me if you don't see something for a while, or if you see some funny looking videos. Maybe they'll still find some entertainment in those. Thanks, guys.